The coordinates found in Daniel Brooks's abandoned truck had led to a tent in the Wisconsin-Michigan border woods. Inside, Emma Clarke's faded hospital ID badge, a woman's hairbrush, and clothing that could have been hers. But nobody. No clear answers. Just more questions. And then the tips began. Anonymous calls. No caller ID. A voice low, male claiming he'd seen a woman matching Emma's description at a gas station, in a diner, near the highway, always near the state line. At first, police dismissed it as a cruel prank. But one tip stood out. It came with a location, a time, and a warning. If you want to see her again, be there alone. Undercover officers staked out the location of an old truck stop off Highway 2 at the designated time. Hours passed. Then, at 3:17 a.m., a woman stepped into the fluorescent light, pale, thin, wearing an oversized hoodie. Surveillance footage is grainy, but investigators swear she looks like Emma. The problem? By the time officers moved in, she was gone. Vanished into the night. Security cameras caught her getting into a dark SUV with no plates. The driver's face was obscured. The next day, the anonymous caller returned. "You're too slow," he said. "You want her? Stop looking in the wrong places." Detectives began combing through the gas station footage frame by frame. In the reflection of a vending machine, they caught something of a figure in the background, wearing a distinct camouflage jacket. When the image was enhanced, the face was unmistakable. Daniel Brooks. Somehow he had slipped past the manhunt and was now toying with investigators. But what was his endgame? And was Emma with him willingly or not at all? A deeper dive into Brooks's past revealed something chilling. 5 years earlier, in Iowa, a woman named Melissa James vanished under similar circumstances. She was last seen with Brooks, who claimed she left town voluntarily. Her body was never found. Witnesses described Melissa as looking exhausted, underweight, and scared in the weeks before she disappeared completely. The similarities to Emma's case were undeniable. Detectives now believed Brooks could be part of something larger, perhaps a network of abductions spanning multiple states. But before they could act, another piece of evidence surfaced. A letter arrived at the Maplewood Police Department, no return address. Inside was a single Polaroid. A woman tied to a chair in a dimly lit room, her face obscured by shadow, but her hazel eyes, Emma's eyes, stared directly at the camera. Scrawled on the back in red ink were 3 words: "She forgives you." Investigators were shaken. The handwriting matched Ryan Keller's prison letters, which meant 2 possibilities. Either Keller had somehow orchestrated this from behind bars, or someone wanted them to believe he had. Forensic testing on the Polaroid showed it was taken within the last 2 weeks, which means if this is Emma, she could still be alive right now. The FBI has joined the case, expanding the search beyond Wisconsin and Michigan. They're working on the theory that Brooks may have been transporting her, keeping her hidden in a rotation of remote cabins and safe houses. But as the manhunt intensifies, another message arrives, this time by email. An address, a date, and a single sentence: the truth will be buried. That address points to a remote, privately owned property deep in Michigan's Upper Peninsula. It's scheduled to be searched tomorrow, and if the anonymous source is telling the truth, what they find there will change everything we know about this case. But there's one more thing. The property is owned by a man whose name appears exactly once in Emma's phone records on January 12, 2019. The same day she first saw the stranger in her driveway. The morning of the search, the air over Michigan's Upper Peninsula was bitter cold, the kind that bites at your skin and makes every breath feel heavy. The property in question sat miles off the main road, hidden by dense pine forest. Its only access a rutted dirt path, barely wide enough for the convoy of police SUVs. Official records listed the owner as Michael Reeves, a 56-year-old man with no criminal record. But buried deep in old data, investigators found a link. Reeves had once been the landlord of a small apartment in Illinois, an apartment rented by Daniel Brooks in 2015. And on January 12, 2019, the same day Emma saw the man in her driveway, Her phone had dialed Reeves's number. Just once. A call lasting only 7 seconds. No one could explain why. As the team moved in, drones scanned the property from above. 2 outbuildings stood near the main cabin, one a tool shed, the other sealed with a heavy padlock. The lock was cut. Inside, the air was damp and stale. A single folding chair sat in the center of the room, its legs scraping against concrete. In one corner, a pile of blankets. In another, a wooden chest. When it was pried open, officers froze. Inside were personal items, women's jewelry, hair ties, a child's drawing with "Mommy" written in crayon. DNA swabs later confirmed several belonged to Emma. But there was more. A hidden compartment in the floor revealed a stack of VHS tapes, each labeled with a date. The earliest, 2014. The most recent, just 3 weeks earlier. On the most recent tape, a woman sat in the same chair now in the room. Her wrists bound, face bruised, eyes hollow. It was Emma Clarke. The video was short, less than 2 minutes, and ended with her looking directly into the camera, whispering something no one could hear over the static. While evidence was collected, agents swept the surrounding woods. Half a mile from the cabin, they found a freshly dug mound of earth. Fearing the worst, they began to excavate, but instead of a body, they uncovered something stranger: a buried steel container. Inside were documents, fake IDs, passports, maps with hand-drawn routes, and a ledger listing over a dozen women's names, most marked with an X. Emma's name wasn't marked. That meant one of 2 things: she was still alive, or she was the next to be crossed off. Then came the radio call. Officers searching the north end of the property had found tire tracks, fresh in the snow, leading away from the site toward the state highway. At the same time, surveillance cameras at a gas station 20 miles away captured a black SUV pulling in. The driver, Daniel Brooks. And in the passenger seat, a woman matching Emma's description. She was alive. But here's the part no one saw coming. Security footage showed Brooks making a phone call inside the gas station. And when investigators pulled the number, it led straight to Ryan Keller's prison cell block. Which means Keller and Brooks were in contact, coordinating, even after Keller's conviction. The FBI believes this may be part of a larger trafficking ring, with Keller as a handler and Brooks as the operative. But there's one final twist. An analysis of those VHS tapes revealed multiple camera angles inside the shed angles that could only have been recorded if there were other cameras hidden on the property. And when agents went back to search, they found one camouflaged in the rafters. The serial number traced back to an online order placed 3 years ago by someone living just 2 blocks from Emma's original home in Maplewood. The name on that order is still under seal, but sources close to the investigation say it's not Brooks. It's not Keller. It's someone who was never on the suspect list at all. And according to those same sources, they're still out there. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section.